Lady D TV presents Conversations for Dummies, where some things you know and some things you learn. Tonight, we're going to learn some things. Stay tuned right here on Lady D TV for Conversations for Dummies, coming up right after this word from our sponsors.
Vegas.
All right, what happened? What happened? Lady D TV presents Conversations for Dummies, where some things you know and some things you learn. Tonight, we're going to learn some things. Stay tuned right here on Lady D TV for Conversations for Dummies, coming up right after this word from our sponsors.
Vegas. Where's the food? Right here at So Sinful Snacks and Treats. Make sure you get down to 4255 Dean Martin Drive, Suite G, and put your order in at So Sinful Snacks and Treats. Try out our new steam bowls or our delicious homestyle barbecue. Either way, you're going to love something at So Sinful Snacks and Treats. Now available on Uber Eats and DoorDash. Order today.
And now, here's Lady D with Conversations for Dummies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to remove you real quick, just a second. All right, you guys, welcome to Conversations for Dummies. This is Lady D, that be me, and I'm excited to be back with you guys. This is the second show I've had on my new day and time. So this is, I'm trying to test the waters to see, because I have to go back and forth and see what's the best day and time for everybody to come aboard and be a part of the program. So Facebook told me that Thursdays was my best day. Thursdays between 6 and 8 p.m. So this is what I'm trying. So here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Conversations for Dummies. For those of you that are new here, as well as my guest, because she's new here, Conversations for Dummies is all about conversations about things that we are ignorant or not knowledgeable about. We don't know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff, period. You know what I'm saying? It's so many things out here that I have no clue about. And so I want to find out. I want to know. I want to become knowledgeable about things that I don't have knowledge about. So that's what Conversations for Dummies is all about. Not calling nobody no dummy, not saying that you guys are dummies, but that we are, in a way that we're ignorant or not knowledgeable about certain things. So you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm a dummy because I need to learn. All right. So I'm excited to be here. I am so excited for my guest tonight, Miss Sharon Rose. Man, it's been, what'd she say, 15 years that we've seen each other or talked to one another. And I'm so glad that we got reconnected. She is a beautiful young lady. She's doing some amazing things. And I'm going to let her introduce herself to you guys and tell you what she's doing. And then I want to tell you why I was so interested in getting this interview with her, because it's just off the chain. Okay, so here we go.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome, 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 beautiful. You are so gorgeous. And it is so good to see you after all these years. What, 15 years you said?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
A long time.
Wow.
Good to see you.
Yes, very good to see you too. And when we met, we were working at was it Phoneware?
Phoneware. It was
Yes.
a call center.
Yeah,
Yes.
call center, working at the call center. And I believe she was doing some modeling at that time. And as a matter of fact, you were a masseuse at that time doing massage therapy.
Yes, I was.
Yep. And I think, didn't you do a Father's Day event or something that it was Kahali Fa King. He had this father, I think it was Father's Day. and you did the massages for the fathers, remember?
Oh, yes, I
Do
remember.
you remember?
Yes, that was a long time
It
ago.
was a
Wow.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, she came and she did those massages for those fathers because they got pampered on that day.
Uh-huh.
It was
Yes.
pamper day for fathers, and you came and did their massages, and they got manicures and pedicures and all kind of stuff. So it was awesome. So it is good to see you. So I
Thank
want you to introduce yourself to everyone. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. I love the concept of your show, and my name is Sharon. I am a breathwork facilitator as well as a lot of other roles in my life, a mother, a wife. My passion is supporting others through traumatic experiences, and I have found breathwork to be one of the most sovereign, intentional ways to look through our trauma and to clear it from the body and mind. So my job is just to be a guide and be a support while others go through their subconscious content. So that's my
Interesting. Interesting. That is really very interesting. So, what actually is breath work?
So breath work is a blanket statement for any time that we consciously affect our breath. So there's multiple different ways to do it. There's a lot of, you can get on YouTube or any Google and find a lot of different types of breath work. The type that I do is called conscious connected breath work, meaning we're affecting our breath for a long period of time. Normally it's about 45 minutes to an hour, and intentionally doing like a circular breath. So it's in the nose, out the mouth, and there's no pause between the top and the bottom of the breath. So with this, we have the ability to change our brain waves and to access our subconscious. Neuroscience says that we're 95% influenced by our subconscious, but we are not aware in our thinking mind of what is there.
Mm,
So lots of childhood memories, lots of patterns, beliefs, systems, programming that was formed throughout our whole life is stored in the subconscious. So breath work gives us the ability to access that.
awesome. So, um, since you spoke about your past and things like that,
Hmm.
breath work affects that. So the reason that I contacted you and reached out to you, not the only reason, because I saw you and I said, "Oh yeah, I want to talk to her," but your conversation was so intriguing and so interesting. I said, "I have to get her on to talk about this." So are we willing to and ready to open up and go into detail about that?
Sure, why not?
Okay,
I
okay.
already
So I
got it
just
on
want to dive
Instagram.
right in. Just want to dive right in. And I just want to say
Yeah.
real quick, shout out to everyone out there that is listening. Please, if you guys are watching this, please share this with your followers so that more people can tune in. Okay. So Sharon shared something on her, I think it was on her TikTok page or Instagram,
Mhm.
um, and about that you were raised in a cult. And
Mhm.
that just, it, I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. I was blown away by your story and what you talked about. And so
Mhm.
I would like for you to share with the listening audience, the viewing audience, what that was all about.
Okay, so yes, a lot of people are surprised when they hear that I was born into a religious cult. It was a lot of extremes of some people's interpretation of the Bible. And
Mm.
so I grew up, it was based in Colorado. It was called the Church of Yahweh Hoshua. And the main leader had a lot of power, I guess. He had
So,
a lot of people who joined.
Sharon shared something. Sorry about that.
No worries. Um, he brought together a lot of people who had a lot of trauma and therefore were able to be easily manipulated. I was born into it. I was born into a family of 8 children. We were born into the environment of extreme everything. So we wore long dresses, we wore long head coverings covering our hair. We were in church probably 5 hours a day. We were often just praying all day, reading the Bible all day,
Mm.
especially when we were younger. And with this came a lot of abuse. There was a lot of the belief that, children were meant to be seen and not heard, the spare the rod, spoil the child, that mentality. So there was a lot of physical, emotional, verbal abuse that happened within my family, from my parents, as well as from people in the church.
Wow. Wow. And how you said you were born into that. So, what age were you when you started to realize that this was maybe not right?
Yeah, so it was around, I think around 9 or 10 is when I really just was in the mindset of, I'm here for a reason. I know I'm here for a reason, but this is just unbearable. And it was around that time that I just started really feeling in my soul, in my body, and in every part of me that, okay, whatever I'm experiencing right now, everything that I'm going through right now is for a purpose. And I just
Mm,
have to get through this. And when I get through this, then I can figure out what I'm here to do and what I'm supposed to do. So at a very young age, I knew that, okay, there's something that I'm here to do. I didn't realize that it was going to be helping people who had been through trauma.
mm,
That only recently, not recently, I've only recently in the last 2 to 3 years stepped into the action of that, because I've been healing the rest of the time I've been healing. And now
okay,
I'm in the steps of actually supporting others in their healing.
that's awesome. What was the hardest part for you, and as a child dealing with that? What was the hardest part for you?
Well, I think that there was a couple aspects. One, we were very everything that we did was we got in trouble for. And we
Mm,
were often beaten, and I don't use that word lightly. And we were fasting a lot, because that was partly my parents and partly from the church.
mm-hmm,
But really, it was witnessing my brothers and my sisters being victims of the abuse. That was the hardest
mm,
part for me, and that was ultimately what made me start trying to speak out in my family, and
yes.
what something that has carried on with me through many, many years, and that I recently have been clearing out through breath work.
Okay. That's beautiful that you have breath work to help you get through that. So, before you got to breath work, how were you able to deal with the emotions and the feelings that you had inside?
Yes, so there was many years. So I moved out of I'm so around 15, the church kind of started to split up. And I refer to the cult that I grew up in as the church, because when I was young, it was the church that I was in.
Mm,
So no one, not to be
right.
misconstrued with other people's version of the church, but um it was around 50, it was around 13 that it kind of started to split up. We had moved from part of it had moved from Colorado to Missouri. There were several families that all moved to Missouri. And at that time, the leader, Leisure was his name, he was in Colorado still. So things started to get kind of rocky with the church in Missouri, and it started to dissipate. Well, I moved out around 15, and ended up moving in with my grandmother. At that time, or shortly after, I started using a lot of prescription medications, opioids. I don't know if I should be naming them all, but I went down the route of taking a lot of prescription pills as well as drinking. And I had a lot of anger, I had a lot of rage, and I had no ability to control my emotions,
Mm,
and no ability to know when I was gonna just fly off the handle, or when I was gonna get in a physical fist fight with somebody. So there was many years where I was completely out of control in that sense.
mm,
And it wasn't until 2012, I ended up going to a personal development course in Las Vegas,
Mhm.
ironically.
Mhm.
And it was really powerful for me because it taught me a lot about emotional intelligence. And it showed me that, wait, I don't have to just be like this for the rest of my life. I can learn about myself. I can learn what my emotions are trying to teach me. I can look at and be with my trauma and pull up these different instances and that happened to me, and I
Mhm.
can work through them from a place now where I'm actually safe and looking at them. And
Mhm.
so it was just slowly over time doing, I did traditional therapy. I've done plant medicines. I've done a lot of personal development leadership classes and a lot of just daily looking in the mirror, changing the way I think, changing
Mhm.
my thoughts. Every time I have a thought that isn't in alignment with what I would want, I would deliberately say, cancel that, and I would put a new thought in. And it's been years of doing that.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's awesome. Are you married with children?
Yes, I have been married for 7 years, together for almost 10, and I have a little girl that's one and a
Mm.
half.
Oh,
Yes.
beautiful, beautiful. So, how do you think your or do you think, or do you feel that your issues in your situation had any direct effect on relationships?
Oh, well, you probably already know the answer to this. Of course, it really affected my relationships, friendships, relationships with my siblings and my parents, and of course, relationships with my significant other. Because when I
Mm-hmm.
met him, I was still in a lot of really low self confidence. I
Mm.
did not have very much value in myself at that time when I met him. And so there was a lot of that was wearing off on him, you know,
Mm.
because no matter what, low self-worth is going to show itself. No matter how
Right.
hard you try to hide it, it's always going to be apparent to
Definite.
somebody looking in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, he held me in those spots and he saw me working and he saw me deliberately just saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes to become to overcome this.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, it really was thinking about my daughter, not my daughter, but thinking about having children and thinking like, if I were to have children now, there's no way that I would not be abusive to them. And that
Mm.
was, I mean, it was just horrible to even think about, but it was the truth. I didn't have any control. So
Wow.
now as a mother, and she's one and a half, I'm a new mother, but I have so much gratitude for the version of me that worked through all that because now I'm so present. I'm so happy with her. Like she's not talking back yet, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
You know.
That's yet to come.
Yeah, and at that
Yes.
time it'll reveal to me new layers, but underneath it all I have a really true peace and true love coming from me that it hasn't spilled out on my daughter as I thought it would at one point.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing. Um, and going forward, what would you um, suggest to the people listening and to others um, to how would be the best way to deal with a situation like that? What would be the best thing to do, the best course of action as far as to run or to stay or to keep it inside? And what's the best thing that you would recommend?
There's a couple things, I think. One, there has to be a point where a decision is made that you no longer want to live this sort of life. In
Hmm.
anger, in disarray, with altercations, with deep sadness, there has to be a point where you just decide, I am done with this. I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Hmm.
And once that decision is made, whether it's today or yesterday, then there comes a point where you have to take personal responsibility. And you have to say everything that I've experienced in the past and everything that I'm experiencing now and going forward, I have the ability to respond to and to understand that it's working for me.
Mhm.
So from personal responsibility, there's a lot of power. When I say, oh, my car got a flat tire, there's a reason for this pause in my life. Oh,
Mhm.
that guy yelled at me and now I'm feeling all triggered. What is this trying to tell me that
Mhm.
what gap would I like to close or what, something like that, you know? And then look towards your emotions, I would say. Our emotions are the number one thing that we should be paying attention to.
Mhm.
Anger is often telling us boundaries are being crossed. And
Right.
maybe it's not the boundary in the moment. Maybe the guy cutting us off in traffic isn't exactly crossing our boundaries, but anger is telling us there has been a boundary that has been crossed and it hasn't been
Mhm.
dealt with properly.
Wow. That's very interesting because what I'm hearing is that in spite of whatever it is that you've gone through in life, you can apply these principles to whatever situation that
Mm-hmm.
you've been through, whether it be a small thing or a big thing, or whether it's right now, today. Say your kid's in trouble and you don't know how to deal with that emotion inside, but what you do teaches you how to deal with that emotion, knowing that your kid's in trouble, but what do I do? But you know how to deal with it better.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Exactly. Every emotion is guiding us. Every
Mhm.
emotion. The happy emotions are telling us that we're more in alignment, you know, the love, the joy, the peace, when we're feeling those, that's saying like this is possible and this is more where you're supposed to be. And
Mhm.
then the lower emotions that we often try to avoid are also guiding us. You know, they're
Mhm.
telling us where we are in regards to where we would like to go.
Mhm.
And so if we learn just some simple things like shame works with low self-confidence. So if I feel
Mm.
shame, I'm almost always sure that I'm feeling some sort of unworthiness, you
Mhm.
know, and just kind of learning about the emotions. And then when they come up in the body and in the chest and in the throat and in the, you know, you feel it through your whole body,
Mhm.
to kind of step back and say, oh, I'm feeling this trigger and let me just experience it. Let me not just go
Mhm.
into the emotion with it. And that gets easier with time.
Mm.
It is harder to do in the beginning, but little practice and just little moments of awareness. And then once you're aware, you just like catch it in each little moment, you know, and just
Yeah,
course correct and be nice to yourself.
that's beautiful. So, how can we reach out to you and get some more in-depth information into the breath work and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm mostly active on Instagram. I do have a
Mhm.
TikTok as well. I need to do what you do and use StreamYard because I can't keep up with all the social media. But you can find me on Instagram at Sharon777 Rose, the same name that you see on my picture, and
Mhm.
send me a DM. I am always there to support others. I am always down to be a guide and to be a cheerleader for anybody who's willing to show up and take responsibility for their life.
Mhm. Beautiful, beautiful. And have you made a business out of this, or is it just something that you personally like to do?
So I have a business with this. It's not my only business right now. I'm also a flight attendant, which allows me a lot of freedom and travel. But I want to be soon working full time, only doing breath work and supporting others in this way. And right now I'm getting pretty busy with it. So it's
Mhm.
a blessing.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. You know what? I'm not going to take up any more of your time. This has been awesome. I am sharing this with everyone. I think we all need to learn how to control our emotions and deal with them in a way that is comfortable for us and that's
Mhm,
not bringing us anxiety and more stress, because
mhm.
sometimes we put it all on ourselves, because we don't know how to deal with it. So this is
Exactly.
this is great. This is wonderful. Well, I will be in contact with you more, and I want to send people your way and get you some more business.
Thank you. Yes. And
Yes,
when we help each other, the whole world, that's how the whole world will heal. So e-
exactly.
even if you don't have the resources, but you're really mired in your emotions and stuff, go ahead and reach out to me and we'll see what we can do to to support you, because that is my purpose, that is my job. It's bigger than money. It's about healing the world and us coming together in community.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so
Thank
happy,
you.
excited for you. We'll stay in touch, and I'll have you back again.
Yes, thank you so much, Lady D.
Thank you. God bless you. Take
God
care.
bless you too. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye bye. All right, you guys. That was my girl Sharon, and she is doing an awesome job. I'm so pleased that we were able to get her on and hear the information that she has, breath work, and what she's doing is very powerful, very dynamic, and I think that we all need to um, get in touch with it and find out a little bit more about it and become more knowledgeable about how it can help us to help ourselves. Okay, thank you guys for being here. I am going to play a couple of things. I want to play this. Let me see, did I download it? I want to play this Christmas song by my girl Raya Stevens. She is going to be on here for an interview coming up real soon. And this is her favorite. It's called Marry Me for Christmas. Is it going to play? There we go.
Got me so high, so light, I could fly home. I'm falling so deep, so believe, just like the snow. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, will you marry me for Christmas?
All right. All right.
Ooh-wee,
You guys tune
ooh-wee,
in.
let's honeymoon through New
Tune
Year.
in Monday through Friday for Morning Motivation with Lady D, that be me. Tune in every Thursday for Conversations for Dummies. I will be here every Thursday doing what I do and what I love to do. And I want to play this for you guys real quick. Check it out.
Hello. I'm inviting you to join us for Conversations for Dummies every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We are having conversations about things we are ignorant or not knowledgeable about. We have been having conversations since 2021. We broadcast live on multiple platforms. And we are looking for people to interview all over the country. If you have something you would like to discuss, please reach out. Join us on Facebook Live, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. See you there. Thank you for watching and for your support. For more information, contact us on ladydtv@gmail.com or call 619-301-4467.
All right. So that is my commercial, my first AI advertisement. Hopefully you guys liked it. Let me know what you think. And you know what? Tune in and tell a friend. And also tune into the Soul Express Radio, the soulexpress.com, TheSoulXpress.com. We're on the air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you want to get your independent artist music played, send it to me to ladydtv@gmail.com. LADYDEETV@gmail.com. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good night.